Hi, everyone. Welcome today to today's session of Motivational Moments. I am so excited to be here and to talk about one of our members, Rubyanna Garza. Ferris is her married name now. And Ruby is the most amazing person I know. I swear to God, that woman has guts like no one other. I think it's important, before I tell more of Ruby's story, is to start with how we met and how things have progressed. And I think it's interesting to find those breadcrumbs in our lives of how we meet people, what kind of place they hold in our hearts, and also just timing. It's amazing. Ruby and I met in 2009. She came to my house along with another cleaning professional, and I had never met her before. She was just there for the day to be part of this cleaning team. And I noticed that she was very shy, and she would hold her head down. She had a bandana on. She was really kind of, I thought, very introverted. Well, surprisingly defined so differently. But Ruby was processing a transition, and she was really in a downward spiral at that time. But here's the thing. Something just generated an emotion in me to reach out to her. And we started talking, and I asked her if she wanted me to put any music on so that she could clean with having her favorite type of music. I've never done that before. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know how to turn the music on. This was like in 2009 in our house because it was a very complicated home theater stereo system. But I did ask her, and she replied that she loves any kind of music and that she was a singer-songwriter herself. And I thought, that's interesting. I said, well, what kind of music do you write and perform? She said, I'm an inspirational musician, singer-songwriter. I write things about my life and how I've overcome struggles and hopefully give encouragement to others through my words in my lyrics. Well, coincidentally, I think it was the following week, I was going to do and scheduled an inspirational evening at one of the hotels downtown in Fernandina Beach, Florida. And after talking to her and realizing her passion, and we started talking more and more, I invited her to participate in my evening. And anyway, make a long story short, she came and performed at my event. I hadn't heard her sing. I just took her word for it that she could. But there was something about her that was just full of passion and spirit and caring and all kinds of emotions. It was just inspired me. And I said, if she can inspire me in this one initial meeting, she's certainly going to inspire other people at my event. So fast forward, that was in, I believe, November of 2009. The more I got to know Ruby, I realized that there was much more to her that met the eye. And she started sharing experiences with me about how she grew up, and she lived, unfortunately, in a domestic violence household. She also was sexually abused as a very young person, a child. And she started writing her songs to overcome the pain and the just the horrific things that she had either seen or experienced herself. So I'm not going to tell you every single thing about her story because I want to do this as a sort of like a two-part series. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background, and then I am going to post something for you to learn more about her. Okay, so think about that. But let me get back to the story. So, all right, so then after the inspirational evening took place, I realized that, wow, I want to hear more about her songs and what she has overcome in her life, and if there was something I could do to help her get her music out. Well, lo and behold, as the universe provides, Stan and I helped professionally produce a CD album called Music and Motivation. And as far as I know, there's nothing that compares to it. I've never seen anything like it, and that was in 2010. So it was 4 months after we had done the inspirational evening together. And she recorded her songs, and I recorded my motivational, inspirational talks, and also gave a highlighted review of her songs and what they represented. So it was a combination of singing and talking, and it was called Music and Motivation. We did that, believe it or not, that was 2010. We've distributed those CDs all over the country, actually in some places in the world, yay. And nonprofits, organizations, music producers, and we actually are under contract with a publishing house at this point, a music publishing entity. But anyway, the reason why I'm telling you this is that I think it's important for us to recognize gifts in other people, to take the time to get to know them, and also figure out ways that we can help get their messages out, or just to be extra kind to them. And I am so proud to know Ruby. And after the Music and Motivation experience, it took 4 months to produce the CD. Then I decided to produce a documentary called Women with Guts. It starred Denise Brown, the sister of Nicole Brown Simpson. Her sister was murdered by O.J. Simpson in 1994 in June, and I just thought Denise was an incredible woman with guts. Stan and I flew out there, did her interview, and we produced that actually that same year. So that's got me on this path of women with guts. So let's fast forward, shall we? Here we are in 2021, and I'm still trying to figure out how are all these pieces going to fit together. You know, something I started back in 2010 or in 2021. You know, nothing is wasted in our lives. Everything is about timing and passion. I had the passion, and I had the timing to do what I needed to do at the time I needed to do it. But now it's like I have a fuller passion to tell stories, especially this one about Rubyanna. And I looked in the local newspaper here in Nassau County, and lo and behold, I saw this headline, and this was March 26th, so only a few weeks ago. It says, April declared Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Nassau County. Well, that made me think about Ruby, didn't it? I thought, wow, that's a sign. What do I do with that? And then I looked online, and I thought, well, if it's a local awareness month, then maybe it is a national awareness month for sexual assault. And lo and behold, it is the month of April. Then it got me thinking, well, what can I do? How can I help? And I thought, well, I've got a Facebook community page. I've posted things about Ruby in the past, but I also wanted to redo it again and get the word out and tell more of her story. Well, Ruby's done a remarkable turnaround, all I can say. She has taken what she's known with her music and inspiring others through her music and her lyrics. She moved back to Michigan, where she grew up, about 6 years ago. And we have worked together. I've mentored her. We've just done some incredible self-help work together. She's learned about the power of thought, the power of affirmations, setting realistic goals, and gaining knowledge, the 4-step guts formula. When she went back to Michigan, she was able to use those techniques with her family and her friends and to rebuild her life around family and friends. And she said it's just been a great experience for her. Moving back to Michigan, she not only married her childhood sweetheart, they actually just recently had a baby, almost 2 years old now. And she went to college and she graduated with a degree in marketing. And it's interesting when I asked Ruby about how did you do all that? She said, Deb, you know what? I actually didn't know or think it was possible. I didn't know that I could change my situation by how I thought about it, what I said to myself and to other people, my self-talk, setting goals. And they don't have to be big, large, huge, humongous goals. You could just set little goals along the way, and before you know it, you've accomplished them. I think that really helped her, and she continued her music, and she has become a real admirable woman, an admirable woman with guts. So I wanted to share kind of the beginning, not the ending, the beginning and the progression of Rubyanna, because we each either have an experience in our lives that we want to do some transformation work, or we know someone else that is going through a transition that we could be of service to. Life is interesting, and you've got to follow those breadcrumbs along the way, those God winks, because those are how we make it in this world and how we can move forward with more ease and more positivity. Because, you know, it wasn't a coincidence that I saw this headline in the paper recently, and that made me think again about Ruby. That propelled me to do this Facebook Live talk. I'm going to send you all a link to watch the video interview that Stan and I did way back in 2010, magical year, for Women with Guts, a documentary. I'm going to definitely share that on this page, and also Music and Motivation, a link to that as well. So I just want you to see that anything is possible if we believe and we practice mind and body, soul work. We're all a work in progress. And the more that we can do on a daily basis to keep ourselves motivated, to keep our thoughts on more the positive zone than the negative zone. We're all going to have negative thoughts. It's just normal. We're human. But the National Science Foundation claims that we think over 60,000 thoughts per day. If we're thinking, let's say, negative half the time, that's 30,000 thoughts. Now, we might not be able to convert all of those to positive, and it's impossible to do. No one's like that. So how many, though, can we convert so that we can tip the scales? And once we have our mind set on what we want and believe that we can have it, then we can start writing down those affirmations in the present tense, telling our subconscious mind that we already have what we want and need. And then we set realistic goals, and also we gain knowledge. We need to know, like if you want to get from step A to step B, well, what is it going to take? What do you need to learn to get there? Who do you need to contact? Who do you need to have as a mentor or a coach or a psychologist? Who knows? But those are the things that we need to do to move forward with our lives so that we can be productive and feeling less stressful and more at ease with ourselves, more at ease with others, and more at ease in the whole world. So thank you for listening. I am filled with emotion, with joy, with pride about Rubyanna and the woman that she has become. And I'm going to continue this story because it's something that I think that you will gain a lot of value from. And because it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Part of the interview that you are going to listen to, I will be sending you the link on this page. It's a little raw, I will warn you, but it's Ruby's story. And I think she's done a remarkable job of turning her life around, and actually the lives around her in Michigan with her family and friends, to become an extremely productive, positive role model for others to follow. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful week. And I look forward to having you tune in next Wednesday. In the meantime, please feel free to make comments, ask questions. I love to get your feedback. I really do. It's important to me. And I also want to know if these segments are helpful to you. I know I hear things, people call or they text me, but it's great to see the messages on the Facebook community page. So feel free to make comments and share any other stories that you may want to share. And we all need to learn how to move forward together and to become more positive and productive citizens and people in the world. Thank you. Have a great day.